Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag, and I'm just going to be looking down on occasion because I've got my notes here about all the books that I want to talk about. The first question is the best book you've read in 2020. That would be this one. It's The Green Mile by Stephen King. I really love this book. I was really interested in following the journey of the main prison warden. His name was Paul, and it was just very interesting to see from his perspective about all the inmates' stories. I also liked reading about John Coffey, who is the guy that is actually on death row, and I found this a very intriguing story, and in the story it definitely pricks your emotions, this one. The second question is best sequel you've read in 2020. Well, I haven't read a sequel apart from this one that I'm reading at the moment, which is Fight Back by Anna Smith. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm sort of just over, I'm about halfway through, and this is a story about a gangster family where the main woman, Kerry Casey, is basically taking over her family business in the first book, and this continues the story. A new release you haven't read but want to, and that would be House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J Maas. I've heard good things about this novel, and I haven't read any Sarah J Maas books yet, so I'd like to begin with this one. For most anticipated release for the second part of the year. I actually don't follow new releases too closely. If I see something recommended by somebody and it's got a good review, then I might pick that book up. Otherwise, a lot of the novels that I read are actually older novels because I get a lot of my books from charity shops or from Marketplace on Amazon. Biggest disappointment. Well, there's two books that actually disappointed me this year. The first one is The Birthing House by Christopher Ransom. And that was because the story just didn't make sense. I couldn't figure out what was happening, and even at the end of the book I still had no idea what was happening in the storyline. It sounds like it's about a haunting, but it's never really properly explained. The second book is Permission by Saskia Vogel, and that really had great potential as a book that was about BDSM and a woman that is befriending a mistress, and she also has another submissive. And so there could have been a lot more BDSM content in the book, which is something that I'm really interested about, but there was just nothing. It just fell flat for me. 6 is Biggest Surprise. Well, this would be Blood Feud by Anna Smith. I don't normally pick up books that are about gangster type lifestyles, and this was a real, well, game changer for me really, because I've never read anything like that before, but I found it really interesting, super fast paced, and yeah, I would recommend it. Number 7 is Favourite New Author, and that would be Scotty Young, and this is I Hate Fairyland by him. I just really love this graphic novel. It was just so much fun, just totally crazy, to be honest, the things that happen in it. It would be just as good for youngsters and adults alike. Yeah, I couldn't put it down once I picked it up. Newest fictional crush. That would be the guy in this book, which is Blackbird by Molly McAdams. He is the love interest in this book, and he's a real bad boy, and I'm just drawn to bad boys like a magnet. So yeah, he really pressed my buttons, this one. Newest favourite character. That would definitely be in The Green Mile by Stephen King. Once again, John Coffey's character, the black man that's on death row, he just really makes you feel for him, and all the time you are thinking throughout the plot, you know, did he do this, or is he innocent? And it just really kept me reading the pages, a real page turner. Book that made you cry. I didn't cry to this book, but it was quite a harrowing read. This is Yvonne Cassidy's I'm Right Here. It's actually about a young girl who can hear the voice of another young girl who is a slave girl from the past. And because it deals with the slavery, basically, then this is quite harrowing, some of the things that Elle, the slave, goes through, and it's quite difficult to read at times, but also it's very, very light-hearted in the way, I don't know if light-hearted is the best word to use, but it's just done in such a way that's captivating and is very, I suppose, sensitively dealt with. Book that made you happy. Again, I've got to pick up Green Mile by Stephen King because I just could not put this book down. Favourite book to movie adaptation that you've seen this year? It's not specifically a book to movie adaptation, but the one film I've seen this year is Ted Bundy. And to be honest, the book that I'm reading, which is Bundy, Portrait of a Serial Killer, is very similar to the movie adaptation Ted Bundy. I think the movie's from 2002. Favourite review you've written? You're going to be sick of me picking this book up, but I actually did a Goodreads review for Stephen King's The Green Mile, and I gave it 5 stars, so that's my favourite review this year. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? I need to finish reading Fight Back, and also the current final novel that's out at the moment, which is Endgame, but there is another one coming out later on this year, so I might need to pick that up later on. Oh, and that's by Anna Smith again. Also, I want to finish reading The Circle, which is by Sarah B. Elfgren and Matt Strandberg. This is a story about a group of witches, and they are being hunted by a killer, and it's quite interesting. I'm not very far into the book yet, almost halfway through, but I'm finding it a very enjoyable read. And this is a trilogy, so there's also 2 other books called Fire and The Key. Okay everyone, I hope that you like listening to my mid-year freak out book tag, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.